Hello, denizens. On tap is Agatha All Along, Episode 3 review. The title of the show could have been Agatha AA because there was a lot of alcohol consumed. And it might have been helpful if I had joined the ladies. There will be spoilers. I liked this episode, not because it was great, but because it felt like throwback TV. And I'm a throwback TV kind of guy. I understand the ratings are tanking, but more than any other TV show Disney Plus has produced under the Marvel imprimatur, I think this one worked the best, at least after the first three shows. It's no worse than Charmed. In my Green Light or Not review, I predicted this show would be a puzzle show. I mean, this particular show would be a puzzle show where the witches, the mystery teen, and Mrs. Hart would have to deal with a new mystery per episode. And show 3 confirms that prediction. So, full marks to me. If things change in subsequent shows, I will blame my assistant for suggesting that idea. The premise was clear and simple. Look, it's a silly show. They have to make witchcraft dialogue sound important, dangerous, and filled with consequence. The show did do a good job of making fun of female vanity. I made fun of She-Hulk being written by middle-aged wine-swilling women. It was refreshing to see the target audience for She-Hulk on screen actually swilling wine. The plot in episode 3 was simple. The gang arrived at a mysterious house that appeared out of nowhere, that looked like something out of House and Garden magazine, of course. Their attire comically changed to match. Wine appeared suddenly. As soon as Mrs. Hart went for a healthy swig, a timer appeared, definitely a Squid Game vibe. The clock started ticking down. All of the women drank some of the wine except the suspicious and scheming Agatha. The girls' faces swelled in a Botox parody. When their faces returned to normal, they discovered that Agatha did not drink the wine and demanded that she imbibe and join them. That didn't break the spell, and the counter kept on ticking down. And now it was up to the potions master, who had been slumming in her real life, concocting scented candles, to come up with a potion to counter the spell which had turned Mrs. Hart comatose. The countdown clock continued, showing that they had not solved the riddle. Sent off to find the ingredients, each one ended up visiting their Lovecraftian horrors. If I had to comment about the one thing I thought was wrong in a show filled with silly improbabilities, it was the fact that as Agatha, is the lead, ultimately the show had to end with an Agatha solution. Duh. As it stood, the ending was the successful creation of the potion, and everyone consumed it as the house was being filled with salt water. Yeah. As the oven then suddenly mysteriously opened up as a portal exit. Witches in ovens was an obvious take on grim fairy tales, but the ending needed to be Agatha going against her duplicitous nature and contributing to the team and downing the wine to close the circle, stopping the clock, opening the oven portal. It was so obvious from a writer's perspective that I was actually shocked when this was not the solution. Agatha assembled this coven solely for selfish purposes. She is a selfish person. She suspected something was wrong with the wine, avoided drinking it, which should have been the key to the puzzle all along at the end. From a plotting perspective, I would have had them make the potion only to have it fail. What are we going to do next? With the final realization that Agatha never drank the wine, never got poisoned, and the only solution was to have her join them in their agony. Now, whether she got coerced or she did it on her own because of her selfish need to continue, I don't care. But that should have been the final revelation. It would have made sense of this silly episode, and I would have been much more satisfied as a viewer. As it stood, the show was just okay, with an unexpected ending that I won't divulge. It Felt like a CW show. With this cast and budget, that's not a compliment. Honestly, its biggest problem is that Marvel and Disney are suffering from the exact opposite of the old saying, a rising tide lifts all boats. It's more like a flushing toilet sinks all turds. If Disney had tended its Marvel garden properly, I think Agatha All Along would have, been a fun, tiny addition to that garden. As it stands, it's surrounded by weeds, and Agatha doesn't have a hope of survival. At least I don't think. I will leave it there at 3 unbelievably strained metaphors. I think that's quite enough. Till next time, denizens, be seeing you.